The wedding invitation should have gone straight into the trash. Instead, it became the beginning of the most unexpected chapter of my life. 3 years after my painful breakup, I received a message from my ex-girlfriend's younger sister asking for a favor that sounded completely impossible. She needed a fake fiancé for a weekend because her family refused to stop pressuring her to get married, and she trusted only one person who knew how to survive their endless questions without making things worse. That person was me. I knew accepting would drag me back into memories I had spent years trying to escape, but something about her desperate request made it impossible to say no. If you believe kindness, forgiveness, and second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Corner for more emotional stories that stay with your heart. The drive to the mountain hotel felt longer than it really was because every mile carried another memory. I remembered birthdays, family dinners, laughter around crowded tables, and the painful night when my relationship with Emily ended after we realized love alone could not fix two people who wanted different futures. Her younger sister, Lily, had never taken sides. She remained kind to both of us, even after everyone else quietly chose a team. When she explained that her parents had invited distant relatives who would never stop asking why she was still single, I understood her fear. Pretending to be engaged for one weekend seemed harmless compared to the emotional storm she was trying to avoid. The hotel stood beside a peaceful lake surrounded by tall pine trees. It looked like the perfect place for new beginnings, but the receptionist delivered terrible news before we even reached the elevator. Due to an unexpected booking mistake after another wedding group arrived early, only one room remained available, and it contained only one king-sized bed. Every nearby hotel was completely full because of a local festival. Lily's face turned pale with embarrassment, while I simply laughed from disbelief. Life had always enjoyed making awkward situations even more uncomfortable. We accepted the room because there was no realistic alternative. That single room became more than just a place to sleep. It became a quiet space where two people carrying different kinds of pain slowly lowered the walls around their hearts. We built a line of pillows across the middle of the bed like children creating an invisible border. We stayed awake for hours talking about life instead of sleeping. She admitted that everyone expected her to follow a timeline she had never chosen. She wanted to build her own career before settling down, but every family gathering became another reminder that she was disappointing someone. I confessed that my breakup with Emily had left me afraid of trusting anyone again because I blamed myself for not being enough. The wedding festivities began the next morning with endless smiles hiding private struggles. Relatives congratulated us on our imaginary engagement, admired the fake ring Lily borrowed from a friend, and talked excitedly about our future. Every compliment made me feel guilty, yet I also noticed something unexpected. Emily seemed genuinely happy. She had moved on, and seeing her without bitterness helped me release a weight I had carried for years. We shared polite smiles that quietly acknowledged the past without reopening old wounds. Sometimes healing arrives not with dramatic speeches but with peaceful acceptance. During the reception, Lily's father pulled me aside. I expected questions about wedding plans or careers, but instead he thanked me for bringing happiness back into his daughter's eyes. His voice carried the exhaustion of a father who loved his child but struggled to understand her dreams. In that moment I realized the entire fake engagement existed because everyone was afraid of honest conversations. Parents feared losing tradition. Children feared disappointing family. We were all pretending in different ways. Late that evening, Lily and I escaped the noisy ballroom and walked beside the lake. The reflections of the lights danced across the water while music echoed softly in the distance. Without the crowd watching us, there was no need to perform anymore. She admitted she wanted to tell her parents the truth before the weekend ended because pretending had become heavier than facing disappointment. I promised to stand beside her, not as a fake fiancé, but as a real friend. The next morning she gathered her family and confessed everything. Silence filled the room. For a few painful seconds no one spoke. Then her father surprised everyone by embracing her with tears in his eyes. He admitted he had pushed too hard because he worried she would end up lonely after seeing friends grow older without partners. She explained that loneliness came from not being accepted, not from being single. The conversation that everyone had avoided for years finally happened, and instead of breaking the family apart, it brought them closer together. As for me, I left the wedding carrying something far more valuable than a happy ending with romance. I left with peace. I realized I no longer measured my worth by a relationship that had ended long ago. Emily found the future she wanted. Lily found the courage to tell the truth. And I found the confidence to believe that kindness offered without expecting anything in return has the power to heal hearts, including our own. If this story has touched your heart, please don't keep your feelings to yourself. Your support helps stories like this reach people who may need hope today. Special request: before this story ends, please leave a comment with the words, "Second chances matter," if you believe honesty and kindness can change someone's life. As I drove away from the hotel, the mountains disappeared in my rearview mirror, but the lessons remained. Life rarely follows the script we expect. Sometimes a fake engagement leads to real healing. Sometimes one uncomfortable hotel room becomes the place where old wounds finally close. And sometimes the greatest love story isn't about finding the right person at all. It's about finding yourself again after believing you were lost. That weekend didn't give me the future I imagined years earlier. It gave me something even better, the freedom to embrace whatever future was still waiting beyond the next road.